Hey, before we get into today's video, I need you to do something for me. I need you to think about your cat right now. Think about how they've been acting lately. Maybe they've been hiding more. Maybe they've been grooming themselves until their fur looks patchy. Maybe they've been staring at the wall at 3 a.m. and you have no idea why. Or maybe everything looks totally fine on the surface, and that's exactly the problem. Because here's something most cat owners never find out until it's too late. Cats are absolutely masters at hiding pain. They are experts at hiding stress. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. In the wild, showing weakness meant becoming somebody's dinner. So cats learned to look calm, look collected, look completely fine, even when they are falling apart on the inside. And today, your indoor cat still carries that same instinct, which means your cat could be stressed right now, deeply, genuinely stressed, and you might have no idea. And I'm not trying to scare you, I'm really not, but I do want you to understand something. Chronic stress in cats is serious. It weakens their immune system. It causes physical illness. It leads to behavior problems that can be really hard to fix once they set in. And it affects the bond between you and your cat in ways you might not even notice at first. So today, we're going to talk about the 7 signs your cat is secretly stressed. These are real signs that are easy to miss if you don't know what to look for. And by the end of this video, you're going to know your cat in a whole new way. You're going to understand what they've been trying to tell you this whole time. Let's get into it.
Okay, sign number 1. And this one catches so many people off guard because it looks like the opposite of what you'd expect. Sign number 1 is overgrooming. Now, most of us know that cats groom themselves. That's completely normal. Your cat licks their paws, cleans their face, grooms their back. Totally healthy, totally natural. A cat can spend anywhere from 30 to 50% of their waking hours grooming themselves, and that's perfectly fine. But there's a line. And when a cat crosses that line, it becomes something different entirely. When a cat is stressed, grooming becomes a coping mechanism. It becomes compulsive. It's the same reason humans bite their nails or tap their foot or scroll through their phone when they're anxious. The grooming gives them a sense of control. It soothes them temporarily. But here's the thing, they can't stop. And so what starts as normal grooming becomes excessive grooming. And over time, it leads to something called psychogenic alopecia. That's a fancy term. What it basically means is hair loss caused not by a skin condition or a parasite or a physical illness, but by stress. And the signs of overgrooming are really specific if you know what to look for. You'll start to notice thinning patches of fur. These are usually on the belly, the inner legs, the base of the tail, or along the flanks. These are the spots your cat can reach most easily. And they'll keep licking and licking and licking those same spots until the fur is completely gone. Sometimes the skin underneath gets red and irritated too.
And here's the sneaky part. Cats often overgroom when you're not watching, when you're asleep, when you're in another room. So you might just notice the results, the bald patches, without ever seeing the behavior itself. And then you think, oh, maybe it's a food allergy, maybe it's fleas, and you start chasing the wrong problem. So if you see unusual bald patches or thinning fur on your cat, especially in those spots I mentioned, please don't just assume it's a skin issue. Ask yourself, is my cat stressed? Has anything changed recently in our home? Because stress absolutely be the reason.
I had a friend, her name is Sarah, and she had this gorgeous tabby named Oliver. Beautiful cat, full lush coat. And one day she noticed a small bald spot near his tail. She thought it was ringworm. She treated for ringworm, no change. She thought it was fleas. Treated for fleas, no change. Months went by. And then finally her vet asked, has anything changed in your home recently? And Sarah said, well, we did move into a new apartment around the time it started. The cat was stressed.
The move had completely disrupted his sense of security. His whole world had changed overnight, and nobody noticed because Oliver never cried, never hid, never acted out. He just groomed himself raw in the quiet hours while Sarah was asleep.
Once they addressed the stress, created more safe spaces for Oliver, used some calming products, gave him more enrichment, the grooming slowed down. His fur grew back. Overgrooming. That's sign number 1. Don't ignore those bald patches.
All right, sign number 2. And this one is really commonly misread as the cat just being independent or aloof or doing their own thing. Sign number 2 is hiding more than usual. Now, here's what I want you to understand first. Cats do hide sometimes. That's normal. They like small, enclosed spaces. They feel safe in them. A cat taking a nap in a box or under the bed occasionally, that's just a cat being a cat. But when hiding becomes excessive,
when your cat is spending hours and hours every single day tucked away somewhere you can barely find them, when they used to come out to greet you and now they don't,
Right there, Fluffy.
when they've stopped
Let's
coming
take
to
a
their
closer look
favorite
at this
spots
little
on the
spot
couch,
right here.
that's
It looks a
different.
bit irritated,
That's your
but we'll
cat
figure
telling
out
you
why.
something is wrong. Cats hide when they feel unsafe. It's a survival response. If something in their environment is overwhelming them, a loud sound, a new person, a new pet, a change in routine, even a smell that wasn't there before,
their first instinct is to disappear, to find somewhere small and dark and enclosed where nothing can get to them. And the tricky thing about hiding is that it can creep up so gradually that you barely notice it happening. Your cat hides a little more this week, a little more the next week, until one day you realize you haven't actually seen your cat for most of the day, and that's become completely normal to you. Think about your cat's current behavior. Where do they spend most of their time? Is it near you? Is it in open, comfortable spots around the house? Or have they retreated to the back of a closet, underneath the bed, behind the washing machine? And here's another layer to this. Sometimes it's not just about where they're hiding, it's about how they respond when you find them. A relaxed cat who is just napping in a quiet spot will usually look up, maybe stretch, maybe come to you. A stressed cat who is hiding because they feel unsafe, they'll flatten themselves down. Their ears will go back, their eyes will be wide. They might even hiss at you, not because they're being mean, but because they're terrified and they don't feel safe, even around you. That's heartbreaking when you see it, because you love this cat, and they've hidden so deep inside their stress that they can't even let you comfort them. The important thing to know is that hiding on its own isn't always an emergency, but hiding combined with other signs on this list, that's when you need to take action. And you need to start asking, what changed? What is different in my cat's world right now? Because something triggered this. Something is wrong. And your job is to figure out what. Sign number 3, and this one is probably the most misunderstood sign on this entire list. Sign number 3 is changes in eating habits. Now, cats can stop eating for a bunch of reasons. They might be picky, they might not like the new food you switch to, they might have a physical health issue. All of those are possible. But stress is also a major cause of eating changes in cats. And it goes both ways. Some cats stop eating when they're stressed. Others actually eat more. Let's talk about the ones who stop eating first. When a cat is chronically stressed, their body goes into a kind of survival mode. Stress hormones flood their system, and one of the effects of that is reduced appetite. Just like humans who lose their appetite when they're going through something hard, a breakup, a job loss, a big move, cats experience something very similar. And here's why this matters beyond just nutrition. If a cat stops eating entirely for more than 24 to 48 hours, they can develop a dangerous condition called hepatic lipidosis. That's a liver condition. It can be life-threatening. It can happen faster in cats than in almost any other pet. So a stressed cat who won't eat isn't just a cat being picky. It can become a medical emergency very quickly.
On the flip side, some cats respond to stress by eating compulsively. This is called stress eating, And yes, cats do it too. You might notice your cat constantly begging for food even after they've eaten, or eating so fast they vomit, or finishing their meals and then acting frantic like they're still hungry. This is often about comfort seeking. Eating gives them something to do. It occupies them. It releases a little dopamine. And so they go back to the bowl again and again because it's the one thing that makes them feel okay for a moment. Here's something I want you to do. Go grab your phone and open up whatever photos or videos you have of your cat eating over the past few months. Does anything look different? Are they eating faster, slower, less often, more often? Are they walking away from their bowl halfway through? Changes in eating are not always obvious in the moment, but when you look back, sometimes you can see the shift clearly. And again, rule out physical illness first, always. Always see your vet if your cat's eating changes significantly. But if the vet gives your cat a clean bill of health and the eating is still off, stress is absolutely something to look at next.
Sign number 4, and this one tends to make cat owners feel frustrated or confused or even a little hurt because it seems personal. Sign number 4 is aggression that comes out of nowhere. You go to pet your cat, you've petted this cat 100 times before, and suddenly, scratch, bite, hiss. Your cat attacks your hand and then runs off like you did something terrible to them. And you're sitting there thinking, what did I do? Why does my cat hate me? Your cat doesn't hate you. Your cat is stressed. Here's what's happening. When cats are under chronic stress, their threshold for what they can tolerate gets much, much lower. Think of it like this. Imagine you've had a terrible week. You didn't sleep well, your boss was on your case, you're behind on everything. And then someone comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder and asks you a completely harmless question, and you snap at them. Was the tap on the shoulder really the problem? No, you were already at your limit. The tap just pushed you over the edge. Cats work exactly the same way. When your cat is stressed, their nervous system is already running hot. They're already in a state of low-level anxiety or hypervigilance. And then you reach out to pet them, which normally they love, and it's just one more thing their overwhelmed nervous system can't handle in that moment. So they lash out. And this kind of aggression can come in different forms. There's redirected aggression, where your cat sees something outside, another cat, a bird, a squirrel, and they get all worked up. And then you walk by, and they attack you because you're the closest target. And I know that sounds almost absurd, but it's a very real thing that happens all the time. There's also what behaviorists call petting-induced aggression. Your cat wants affection. They seek it out, they start to enjoy it, and then suddenly, without warning, they whip around and bite you. This is usually about overstimulation. A stressed cat has a shorter window for touch before it becomes too much. And instead of walking away, they communicate through teeth and claws. Now, I want to be clear. Sudden aggression in a cat should always be checked by a vet first. Pain can cause aggression. Medical conditions can cause aggression. So rule those out first. But if your cat is physically fine and they're suddenly acting more aggressive than usual, stress is very often at the root of it.
And the solution is never punishment. Please never, ever punish a stressed cat for being aggressive. All that does is add more stress on top of stress and make everything worse. What they need is for you to understand why they're struggling and to help remove or reduce whatever is causing the problem.
Sign number 5. And this one is easy to miss because it seems so minor, so small, so everyday. Sign number 5 is litter box problems. Your cat starts going outside the litter box, or they're going more frequently than usual, or they're going less, or they start going in weird spots around the house, a corner of the bedroom, a pile of laundry, the bathroom floor, and your first thought is probably, is my cat sick?
And yes, that absolutely needs to be your first thought.
Urinary issues in cats, urinary tract infections, bladder inflammation, kidney problems. These are very real, very common, and they will cause cats to eliminate outside the box. So please, see a vet immediately if you notice this. But here's the thing. One of the most common causes of idiopathic cystitis in cats, that's bladder inflammation that doctors can't find a physical cause for, is stress. It's called feline idiopathic cystitis, or FIC, and stress is considered a major trigger. The stress alone can cause physical inflammation in the bladder, which is wild, but it's true. And beyond the medical aspect, cats also use inappropriate elimination as communication. They are not doing it out of spite. They are not trying to ruin your carpet. They are telling you in the only way they can that something is wrong, that they feel unsafe, that something about their environment or their litter box situation is not working for them. Common stress-related litter box triggers include the box being in a high-traffic area, the box being too close to where they eat or sleep, another pet ambushing them at the litter box, a change in litter brand or type, or even just the litter box not being cleaned often enough. All of these can create stress and lead to avoidance. And sometimes it's more about territory. If there's a new pet in the house and your cat feels like their safe spaces are being invaded, they may mark areas of the house as their own. This is stress-related territorial behavior, and it's not aggression, it's anxiety. So again, vet first always. Rule out physical causes. But if everything checks out medically, start thinking about stress. Okay, we're over halfway through our list, and I want to pause for a second, because I know some of you are watching this and you're recognizing your cat in some of these signs. And maybe you're feeling a little worried, maybe even a little guilty, like you should have noticed sooner. Please don't do that to yourself. Cats are incredibly good at hiding what's going on with them. That's not a flaw in you as an owner.
That's just who cats are. And the fact that you're watching this right now, that you're paying attention, that you care enough to learn, that already makes you a great cat parent. The goal isn't to feel bad. The goal is to understand, and then to do something about it. So, let's keep going. Sign number 6. And this one is one that I find the most fascinating from a behavioral standpoint, because it tells you so much about how a cat is processing their world. Sign number 6 is changes in vocalization. Now, every cat has a baseline. Every cat has their normal level of talking. Some cats are naturally chatty. They meow when they see you, they chirp at birds, they trill when they want dinner. Other cats are naturally quiet. They might go days without making a sound, and that's just them. The key word here is change. Change from that cat's own normal. A cat who is suddenly vocalizing much more than usual, especially at night, especially in a way that sounds distressed or plaintive or frantic, is often a stressed cat. They're calling out. They're asking for reassurance. They're expressing discomfort in the only language they have with you. This is really common in cats who have experienced a loss. If another pet in the household has passed away, if a family member has moved out, if there's been a major disruption to the household routine, cats will sometimes vocalize almost constantly for a period of time. They're searching. They're confused. They're grieving in their own way. It's also very common in cats who are experiencing cognitive changes as they age, but that's a separate topic for another day. On the flip side, a cat who used to be chatty and has suddenly gone very quiet can also be showing signs of stress. Withdrawal, reduced vocalization, decreased interest in interaction, these can all indicate that a cat is shutting down emotionally because they feel overwhelmed. I want to tell you about a cat named Luna. Luna belonged to a family in Texas. She was a Siamese, and if you know anything about Siamese cats, you know they are not quiet animals. Luna talked constantly. She had opinions about everything. She would meow at her reflection, meow at the ceiling fan, meow when dinner was 30 seconds late.
Then the family had a baby.
And almost overnight, Luna stopped talking. She just went silent. She stopped coming to the living room, stopped sitting on laps, stopped asking for anything. And the family thought, oh, Luna is adjusting. She'll come around. But weeks passed, then a couple of months, and Luna was still not herself. She was withdrawn, quiet, clearly unhappy. She was stressed. The noise, the change in routine, the new small human who took up so much of her family's attention, it had overwhelmed her. And instead of acting out, she had gone inward.
They worked with a feline behaviorist. They gave Luna her own quiet room with her own safe space that the baby couldn't access. They set aside specific one-on-one time with her every day.
Slowly, Luna came back. The meowing returned, the personality returned. But it took months. And it started with someone noticing that she had gone quiet. Pay attention to how much your cat talks and notice when it changes. Sign number 7, and this is the one I want you to really sit with because it's the most subtle sign of all, and it might be the most important. Sign number 7 is changes in body language and posture. Cats communicate constantly through their bodies. The position of their ears, the curl of their tail, the tension in their muscles, the size of their pupils. These are all part of an incredibly rich language that your cat speaks every single moment of every single day. And when a cat is stressed, that language changes. The most obvious body language of a stressed cat is what's called a loa posture. Their body gets low to the ground, their head ducks down, their tail tucks in or wraps tightly around their body. Their ears go flat to the side or rotate backwards. Their muscles look tense, almost rigid, and their pupils may be very wide, fully dilated, even in a bright room. This is a cat in a state of fear or anxiety. This is a cat who feels like they're in danger, even if there's no visible threat. But here's the subtler version of this, and this is the one that's easy to miss. A chronically stressed cat often develops what I call a permatension, a low, constant level of physical tension that becomes their new normal. Their muscles are never quite relaxed. They never do that full body melt that a truly comfortable, secure cat does. You know that melt I'm talking about? When a cat just dissolves into your lap, completely boneless, utterly at peace. That complete softening of the body. A stressed cat often doesn't do that. Or they do it much less. They might sit in a loaf position, that classic Sphinx-style pose, but their eyes aren't quite closed. They're watching the room. Their tail might flick occasionally. They're resting, but they're not safe. They can't fully let go. And then there are the smaller signals. The slow blink becomes less frequent. Slow blinking, that half-closed, lazy blink that cats do when they feel safe, is one of the clearest signs of feline contentment. A stressed cat blinks less slowly. Their eyes are more alert, more watchful. Their grooming posture might look rushed. Instead of the long, slow, methodical grooming of a relaxed cat, a stressed cat grooms in quick, almost frantic bursts. And their response to new things changes. A happy, well-adjusted cat approaches new objects, new smells, new sounds with curiosity. A stressed cat freezes or runs. Every new thing becomes a threat. One thing I really want you to start doing, and this will change how you understand your cat completely, is what I call a daily body language scan. Every day, when you see your cat, take 5 seconds to really look at them. Not to pet them, not to interact, just to observe. Are their ears forward and relaxed, or are they flattened or rotated? Is their tail up and curled at the tip, the classic happy cat tail? Or is it low, or puffed, or wrapped tight? Are their eyes soft and slightly sleepy, or are they wide and watchful?
You'll be amazed at what you start to notice when you really pay attention. Because your cat talks to you all day long through their body. And learning to read that language is one of the most profound ways you can deepen your relationship with them.
Okay, so we've talked about all 7 signs. Let me bring them back together so they're clear in your mind. Sign 1, overgrooming. Bald patches, thinning fur, compulsive licking. Your cat is using grooming to cope with something. Sign 2, hiding more than usual. Your cat retreating to dark, enclosed spaces and spending hours there. They don't feel safe in their world right now. Sign 3, changes in eating. Eating less, eating more, eating frantically, or walking away from meals. Stress is a huge disruption to a cat's appetite. Sign 4, sudden aggression. Unprovoked attacks, redirected aggression, petting-induced biting. Your cat's threshold is low and they're overwhelmed. Sign 5, litter box problems. Going outside the box, increased frequency, straining. Always rule out physical illness first, but stress is often the root cause. Sign 6, changes in vocalization. Suddenly louder and more desperate, or suddenly very quiet and withdrawn. Either direction can signal stress. Sign 7, changes in body language. Low posture, wide pupils, tense muscles, reduced slow blinking, less contentment. Your cat's body is telling you they're not okay. Now, here's what I want to say about all of this. If you recognize even 2 or 3 of these signs in your cat, the very first thing you should do is take them to the vet. I say this every single time, and I mean it every single time. Because stress symptoms can look a lot like medical symptoms, and you need to rule out physical illness first. Always. But once you have a clean bill of health, or if you know there's been a significant change in your cat's life, Recently, a move, a new pet, a new baby, a loud renovation, a shift in your schedule, even something as subtle as rearranged furniture, please take that seriously. Cats are sensitive. Their world is small and controlled. And when it shifts, even in ways that seem minor to us, it can be enormous for them. The good news is that stress in cats is absolutely addressable. With the right environment, the right enrichment, the right routine, and the right support, cats can and do recover from stress. They can rebuild their sense of safety. They can become themselves again. And understanding what they're going through is the very first step, which you've now taken by watching this video. Let me talk briefly about what you can actually do, because I don't want to leave you with a list of problems and no path forward. First and most important, create safe spaces. Every cat needs places in their home that are completely theirs. Elevated spots where they can see the room but can't be approached from behind. Enclosed hiding spots, a covered cat bed, an open carrier with a soft blanket inside, a cat tree with a little condo. These give your cat the ability to retreat and decompress without fully disappearing from life. Second, predictability. Cats thrive on routine. Feed them at the same times every day, play with them at the same times, keep their litter box in the same location, and clean it consistently. Predictability is safety for a cat. When they know what's going to happen next, they can relax. Third, enrichment. A bored, understimulated cat is a stressed cat. Play with your cat every single day. Interactive play. Wand toys, feather teasers, laser pointers. These are not just fun, they're stress relief. They give your cat an outlet for their natural predatory energy. They help them feel competent and in control of something. Aim for at least 2 10-minute play sessions a day, especially at dawn and dusk when cats are naturally most active. Fourth, consider your cat's sensory world. Cats have an incredibly sensitive sense of smell. Strong new scents in the house, new cleaning products, heavy perfumes, diffusers with essential oils, especially citrus or tea tree oil, which can actually be toxic to cats, can be genuinely stressful for them. Think about what your cat is smelling and whether any of it might be overwhelming.
Fifth, don't punish stress behaviors. I said this earlier, but I want to say it again. If your cat is hiding or vocalizing or being aggressive or going outside the litter box, punishing them will make everything worse. It adds more fear, more stress, more reason for your cat to feel unsafe around you. Instead, try to understand the why, address the underlying cause, and give your cat time to adjust.
And sixth, consider calming supports. There are several products that many cat owners and vets have found helpful for stressed cats. Fellaway is a synthetic version of the feline facial pheromone, the scent cats leave when they rub their cheeks on things to mark something as safe. Using a Fellaway diffuser in your home can help create a sense of security for your cat. There are also calming supplements like L-theanine and certain herbal blends made specifically for cats. And in some cases, your vet might recommend medication for cats with severe anxiety. There's no shame in that. Just like humans sometimes need support beyond lifestyle changes, cats can too.
I want to end with something that I think about a lot when I think about the relationship between cats and the people who love them. Cats don't have a lot of ways to tell you what's wrong. They can't tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm really struggling right now. I feel unsafe and I don't know why, and I just need you to understand."
All they have is behavior. All they have is the language of their bodies, their voices, their habits and routines. And when those things change, it's because something is changing inside them.
And the most powerful thing you can do as a cat owner is decide to become fluent in that language. To stop seeing behavior as random or frustrating or mysterious and start seeing it as communication, as your cat reaching out to you in the only way they can. Because when you understand your cat, everything shifts. The frustration becomes empathy. The mystery becomes connection. And that bond, that quiet, deep, sometimes complicated bond between a person and their cat, becomes something truly extraordinary.
Your cat chose to share their world with you. They trust you with their safety, their comfort, their life. The least we can do is pay attention. So tell me, did you recognize any of these signs in your own cat? Which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know what you're going through with your cat. And if this video helped you understand your cat even a little bit better, please give it a thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps more cat lovers find this video so their cats can get the understanding they deserve too. Subscribe if you haven't already. We talk about cat behavior and psychology every single week, and not in a complicated technical way. Just real, honest conversations about the cats we love and how to be the best possible person for them. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself and take care of your cat.